Namaskar, good evening. You're watching Nation Wants to Know and I'm Swati Joshi. 34 policemen, 5 civilians, 38 vehicles, 5 FIRs. This, in a gist, is the aftermath of the violent clashes that unfolded in parts of Nagpur city last night over the anti-Aurangzeb stir. The rioters were so emboldened that they didn't shudder for a moment before attacking 34 police personnel. The rioters, who were armed to kill, attacked a 2019 batch IPS officer, DCP Niketan Kadam, with an axe. And then some want you to believe that this was spontaneous protest, in which spontaneous protest do so-called protesters carry swords, carry weapons like axes and carry knives. Out of the 34 injured, 2 are IPS officers, 1 a DCP and the other is a joint commissioner. Among the 34 wounded policemen, 14 are police inspectors and sub-inspectors undergoing treatment in the government hospital in Nagpur. In fact, the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Devendrafadnavis, spoke to DCP Kadam and expressed solidarity with the officer. He told him that the state is proud of the way he held his ground in the middle of the violence and mayhem.
हो सर, कुराडीचा गाव आहे सर, टीप आहे.
अच्छा, हातावर लागला.
येस सर, तर हातावर आहे सर.
अच्छा, मग प्लास्टिक सर्जरी केली, काय केलं त्याच्यामध्ये?
हो सर, प्लास्टिक सर्जरी केली, पण केली सर, काही नर्व्स वगैरे डॅमेज झाले नाही.
व्हेरी गुड. ठीक आहे, तुम्ही चांगलं तिथे समोर गेलात आणि सगळ्याचा सामना केला, त्याबद्दल तुमचं अभिनंदन आहे आणि आम्ही सगळे तुमच्या पाठीशी आहोत आणि लवकर तुम्ही ठीक व्हावं अशी आमची प्रार्थना आहे आणि अशाच प्रकारे नेहमी तुम्ही चांगलं काम कराल अशी बिलकुल ईश्वरचरणी प्रार्थना आहे.
थँक्यू सर.
ओके, ऑल द बेस्ट, ऑल द बेस्ट.
There's a war of words happening at the moment with the opposition blaming the BJP, the government in Maharashtra. But these are the visuals on your screens of what transpired in Nagpur, and they raise several questions. Was this a pre-planned conspiracy? And if yes, who was behind it? Watch how the cops recovered a truck full of stones from the site of violence after everything calmed down. How did the rioters manage to gather so many stones? The mob was armed. They were seen carrying sticks, swords and knives. Some were masked. Some were so charged that they went on a rampage, burning vehicles and attacking cops with impunity. However, the opposition seems to be in a hurry to give a clean chit to rioters, be it Uddhav Thackeray, Asduddin Owaisi or leaders of Congress, all blaming the BJP government in Maharashtra, accusing the state government of creating such a situation with its anti-Aurangzeb rhetoric.
वहाँ डबल इंजन सरकार है ना महाराष्ट्र में और केंद्र में, तो डबल इंजन सरकार की असफलता है और अगर ये सरकार असफल है तो इन्होंने इस्तीफा देना चाहिए.
सर, भाजपा नेता का कहना है कि ये हिंसा है जो ये साजिश की ओर इशारा करती है. साजिश की ओर इशारा करती है.
किसकी साजिश है? किसकी साजिश है? और इसलिए मैंने कहा कि जिसका जन्म गुजरात में हुआ था, ऐसा औरंगजेब, जब हमारे छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज उनके पश्चात महाराष्ट्र के ऊपर उन्होंने आक्रमण किया था और महाराष्ट्र में उनकी कब्र बांधी गई. बार बार कहना ठीक नहीं, लेकिन सच्चाई है कि गुजरात में जिसका जन्म हुआ था वो औरंगजेब महाराष्ट्र के खिलाफ, छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज जी के खिलाफ जो महाराष्ट्र में आए थे, वो वापस आगरा नहीं जा सके. तो आप 400 साल पुरानी बात आप निकाल रहे हैं तो निकालो.
उसके बाद शाम में ये सब चीजें हुई, मैं उसका कंडेम करता हूं वायलेंस का, मगर इसको टोटल देखिए आप कि जो स्टेटमेंट्स एमिनेट हुए हैं, जो स्टेटमेंट दिए गए हैं मिनिस्टर्स की तरफ से, अभी भी दिए जा रहे हैं. भाई आप रूल ऑफ लॉ को फॉलो करिए ना. आप तो भारत के संविधान पर आपने ओथ लिया है, तो आप कैसे प्रोवोकेटिव स्टेटमेंट्स क्यों दे रहे हैं आप? भाई मुझे कोई चीज पसंद नहीं है, आपको कोई चीज पसंद नहीं है, तो कोई भी अपनी नापसंद का इजहार कानून को हाथ में ले करेगा क्या? ये देखने की जरूरत है. तो ये बहुत गलत हो रहा है. सरकार की जिम्मेदारी है, ये सरकार की गलती है, इंटेलिजेंस की फेलियर है.
महाराष्ट्र में जो हो रहा है, जो नागपुर में हुआ है, इसका दर्द हमें सभी को होता है, महाराष्ट्रवासियों को. जिस तरीके से राजनीति बीजेपी चमका रही है, जिस तरीके से उनके सीनियर लीडर बयानबाजी कर रहे हैं, तो पूरे वहां पे उचकाने का काम कर रहे हैं लोगों को, वो कि इस तरीके से राजनीति बीजेपी जो कर रही है उसने उसको बंद कर देना चाहिए. कोई भी समाज ने एक दूसरे के खिलाफ इस तरीके से बात नहीं होनी चाहिए कि जो हमारा भाईचारा वहां पे जो हमारे इसमें जो महाराष्ट्र में है वो बिगाड़ने की कोशिश किसी की तरफ से भी नहीं होनी चाहिए.
However, both the Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis and Deputy Chief Minister Eknath Shinde have said that violence that unfolded in Nagpur is a result of a pre-planned conspiracy.
तर सकाळची एक घटना घडल्यानंतर मध्यंतरीच्या काळामध्ये पूर्णपणे शांतता होती, पण त्यानंतर मात्र संध्याकाळी काही लोकांनी जाणीवपूर्वक अशा प्रकारचा हल्ला केल्याचं या ठिकाणी लक्षात येत आहे. याचं कारण जवळपास एक ट्रॉली भरून त्या ठिकाणी दगड मिळालेले आहेत आणि काही लोकांनी जमा करून ठेवलेले दगड, वरती जमा करून ठेवलेले दगड हे आपल्याला पाहायला मिळाले. शस्त्र देखील मोठ्या प्रमाणात त्या ठिकाणी होते. ते शस्त्र जप्त करण्यात आलेले आहेत. वाहनांची जाळपोळ त्या ठिकाणी झालेली आहे आणि ठरवून काही ठराविक घरांना, काही ठराविक आस्थापनांना त्या ठिकाणी लक्ष करण्यात आलेलं आहे. 3 DCP लेवलचे लोक या ठिकाणी जखमी झालेले आहेत आणि जसं मी सांगितलं की यातल्या एका DCPवर तर थेट कुऱ्हाडी वार हा त्या ठिकाणी करण्यात आलेला आहे. त्यामुळे निश्चितपणे याच्यामध्ये काही ना काही एक प्रकारे काही लोकांचा सुनियोजित पॅटर्न हा देखील त्या ठिकाणी दिसतो आहे.
Well, the government says there was a conspiracy and this was pre-planned. The opposition is blaming the government, attributing it to the anti-Aurangzeb statements that were given. And before we open up the debate and go across to our guests, this is the question that we are asking. And viewers, register your vote, have your say. Tell us, what do you think? Is the opposition milking violence for political mileage? Tell us what your answer is and we'll reveal the results at the end of the debate. Let's now go across to our guests. We are joined by Rajiv Pandey of the Bharatiya Janata Party. We have Shri Raj Nair, VHP National Spokesperson, Dr. Vikram Singh, former DGP UP, Manasvi Thapar, lawyer and political analyst, and Chandrasekhar Jha, UBT leader. Good evening to all of you. Mr. Jha, let me begin with you. What was the rush to give a clean chit to the rioters? Why was the opposition in such hurry?
See, we are not giving clean sheet to the rioters. It is the state government who is giving clean sheet to the rioters. The rioters does not have any kind of religion. They have done criminal acts and they should be punished under UPA, under the relevant provisions of the BNS. They should be brought to the book and they should be behind bars and they should not get the bail. That has to be construed by the state government.
Who is saying rioters have a religion? We heard the CM, we heard the deputy CM, we heard all the other leaders. Everybody saying it's a pre-planned conspiracy.
The rioters have religion because yes, they say specific that the rioters have, no, if it is pre-planned, the government tacitly admitted that it is a pre-planned riot which has been caused by one community or the other community. That means the intelligence failure of the government, the intelligence complete failure of the government, because this build-up has to be done 2-3 days back. They might have done it because the intelligence got failed and the state home department got failed and the CM got failed. They have to raise these kind of issues with the public, knowing very well that they have failed completely in maintaining the law and order. So these things have to be construed against them.
Okay, but Chandrasekhar Jha, when you say and when there are reactions coming in that say that these are spontaneous reactions or this has happened because somebody gave a statement against Aurangzeb, is that not giving cover fire to the rioters? In a way justifying कि किसी ने statement दिया, that's why violence हुआ.
See, statement was given 20 days back or 15 days back. These instigations are coming from whom? These statements are continuing being run by whom? By the BJP ruled leaders, by the BJP ruled ministers, by the CM itself. Who is doing this? Who is glorifying the Aurangzeb? We are not glorifying Aurangzeb.
There are a lot.
We have categorically said that
there are a lot of people who are part of the INDI bloc who are glorifying Aurangzeb. Also, then Chandrasekhar Jha, would you tomorrow say that it all started with Chhawa movie? So
no, nobody has glorified. Nobody has glorified.
One second. Will you then tomorrow say that it's all started because Chhawa movie was made? It was released that shows the torture Sambhaji had to endure, and after that Abu Azmi spoke of Aurangzeb, so that the movie should not have been made an Aurangzeb per Abu Azmi also should not have made that statement. Will you go back to that?
It was not any kind. See, the statement made by Abu Azmi, we disowned. Everybody disowned.
Okay.
And he expected and he said sorry to everyone. But eventually this kind of thing being continued to be instigated, that was done by BJP leaders.
Okay. Let me bring in Mr. Rajiv Pandey. Rajiv Pandey, one, Chandrasekhar Jha says that your intelligence failed. The government failed to anticipate this could happen, and two, he is attributing it to the statements that have been made by BJP. He is alleging instigation came from the Bharatiya Janata Party leaders.
Swati ji, just for the sake of argument, if I accept even his statement, Chandrasekhar Jha's statement, that somebody has given some statement, for that you can go and attack Hindu houses, the cars on having swastika sign. If somebody is talking about removing Mazar of Aurangzeb, then you go and kill people and attack people. The issue is this is a reaction, and this is the reaction of the people who have deep hatred for Bharat, Indian Constitution and law and order. I am telling you, more than 60 people are already arrested and they will be taken to task. Mark my word, Swati ji. These people will only come tomorrow when the action will be taken.
No, but then Rajiv Pandey, you're saying pre-planned. And the opposition is asking if it is a pre-planned, it did not happen in just a couple of years. Why did the police not catch a whiff of it? They are alleging there was intelligence failure. How do you respond to that?
Swati ji, in India, there is no intelligence failure. That's why we are not seeing any Islamic terrorist attack like 26/11 and all other things we have seen in last. Every year Mumbai was bleeded by Islamic terrorists. Now after May 2014, not a single terrorist attack could be planned in Maharashtra.
Okay.
So let's not go into that debate. What about you? What I am saying, Swati ji, in India, just give me 30 seconds more. Very eminent people are there on your show right now, former DGP as well as Siraj Bhai. I'll tell you one thing, ma'am. The issue is in India, there is a program, there is a conspiracy. Yesterday we have seen in Delhi, today in daytime in Delhi, night time in Nagpur. I am telling you, they are trying to.
Okay, you're saying there's a pattern to provocation and attack. Let me bring in Manasvi. And if there is a pattern to this provocation and attack, then who is behind it? Whose conspiracy was it? Who was trying to milk the situation?
Time. I think this is a very, very serious issue, and I would go by the words of the Honorable Chief Minister of Maharashtra when he says it's a pre-planned thing. Yes, this is a pre-planned thing, but the question what comes to my mind is, why are we discussing about the pre-planning of it today? What was the intelligence doing? What was the Home Ministry doing? What was the police doing at that particular time? Swati, allow me 30 seconds more. The stones were being collected. There were trucks full of stones. There were weapons there being collected. There were people with masked understanding and fighting on the streets of Nagpur. What was the intelligence doing? What was the police doing? We have to have these pertinent questions. I don't want to go that it is because of Aurangzeb or it is because of Chhawa. The pointed question is, can we let our citizens of Maharashtra be in such a delicate situation? Can we allow this kind of rioting situation happen in our country? This is a complete failure of state machinery.
But whenever there is a crackdown, the opposition is the first to point fingers and say that this crackdown is against a particular community, that you're targeting a particular community, and that is where, you know, the debate has gone back to. Even in this particular case, the angle of religion is being injected, and by who?
Swati, whatever the opposition says is not important. What is the state of law and order? That is very important. That is pertaining. Just because opposition is saying that this is a religious angle, we are not going to give it easily to the opposition.
Manasvi, how can you say that? Because if you are alleging the government, if the government is being alleged of and the BJP leaders being alleged of instigating, that instigation can happen from any side and based on anybody's statement, be it the government, be it the opposition. I want to bring in Sriraj Nair as well, because fingers are also being pointed at the protests that were carried out by VHP and Bajrang Dal, saying it all started because of those protests. Even if they were peaceful, they resulted after the protest, during the night time, the violent attacks took place. How do you respond to that, Mr. Nair?
Well, Swati, I completely disagree with that, because I was also a part of the protest yesterday. I was there whole day. I was in touch with my Nagpur colleagues also. The protest was absolutely peaceful at the Tehsil Kendras and at Jilla Kendras, that is district level places. A memorandum was handed over to the collector or the Tehsildars. That's it, nothing beyond that. It was absolutely a peaceful protest, and there was not a single violent activity carried out by VHP or Bajrang Dal activists. Now this was, as everybody is saying and everybody knows, it's a global, stone pelting has been always a global pattern. Now from where did they collect tons and tons of stones? So this is a global pattern from Sweden to Finland to Belgium to London to Srinagar to Delhi to Mumbai and to Nagpur. So this is a global pattern, and this was in an organized, pre-planned way. This attacks were happened just based on a rumor. There was nothing else. Nobody burned any kind of ayat or any kind of religious book or anything. This was just a rumor which was spread with a malignant
you're saying
intention.
rumor led to
And
widespread
this,
violent
the
attacks.
people-
Let me bring in Dr. Vikram Singh. He's a former DGP of Uttar Pradesh. He's seen several such situations, handled them as well. Dr. Vikram Singh, which side of the argument do you believe? That it was intelligence failure because the government says it's pre-planned and the opposition is asking, then what were you doing? Or, do you buy the argument of the opposition that there were continuous statements being made, that people were being instigated and that resulted in this? And would that not be justification?
And good evening, Swati ji. Yes, I have 4 quick points to make. Number one, we could have done much better. That yes, there's nothing like something operating in vacuum. We could have anticipated something because there's something known as terminal flashpoint. You can know from the telltale signs that something is brewing in the atmosphere and in the ecosystem, and that is the time for the police to be proactive and ensure that Section 163 of the BNSS, the successor to 144 of the CRPC, is imposed, and also curfew wherever required, preventive arrest. Nothing like that happens. We could have done much better. But to say that any agency in the world is infallible and absolutely beyond making any mistakes. Likewise, Nagpur also, well, they did were caught on the wrong foot. But to say that this is a toolkit, and the toolkit was also, there's an eerie similarity between Sambhal, Mau, Nagpur and the Delhi riots. Preparation, attack on the police, brazen attack on the police. And there should be consequences. In Sambhal, they got a befitting reply, and I would tell you, Sati, I've handled it. Unless there is a certainty of punishment, invoke Makoka and recover all the movable, immovable property within 24 hours, announce a reward on the remaining accused of 5 lakhs each, get after them like bloodhounds and see to it that they are behind bars. There should be consequences of disruption of public peace.
So when you are also saying that there's a pattern to provocation and attacks and you're drawing in the parallels between this and what happened in Mau and Sambhal, my question is, what is the common thread then? And let me bring in Mr. Jha. Mr. Jha, in India, politicians, a lot of times forget the boundaries and make irresponsible statements. Now, imagine every time there's a protest after such a statement is made, there will be only and only chaos. Are we still going to justify this? Also, tell me something. Who would have a problem with anti-Aurangzeb statement? Why should people have a problem? Because when Aurangzeb's rule was being criticized, many part of the opposition, many part of the community said, he was equally cruel to Hindus and Muslims. So why should people be provoked by that unless there's a conspiracy behind it?
See, nobody is trying to glorify Aurangzeb. It is the speeches from the BJP leaders where the Aurangzeb is to be glorified by such kind of criminal acts being done in the state. And eventually, if you see, the instigation comes from these BJP leaders. In every BJP rule states this kind of problem of riot, having arsons, these kind of things are continuously.
Should there be arson and violence and
It is
vandalism because a
only
statement is being made, Mr. Jha? That's my question.
And further, just give me 20 seconds. Just give me 20 seconds. The thing is that the Aurangzeb glorification, we are not concerned because he was a cruel ruler. We are not concerned. Not a single Indian citizen are glorifying Aurangzeb. If you want to throw his into the ocean, we don't care about. But eventually, the act of crime has been taken place in area where the CM belongs. Even the ministry, even the union minister belongs. So these pockets were naturally having some kind of criminal acts there being placed. So the Devendra Fadnavis government is responsible.
Okay, I have to wrap up, but
act,
Rajiv Pandey, very quickly. Very quickly, according to Mr. Jha, the common thread is BJP. Wherever BJP is in power, this happens.
This is such a blatant lie that there is no riots like 92, 93 riots like has taken place in last 11 years. One thing I want to say, Swati ji, which is very important. In this country, people, terrorists and rioters apologists will say because of this, they got infuriated and they come on the street. If suppose somebody has done something wrong, Swati ji, then they should have gone to the court, they should have gone to the police.
Protest as much as you want. If you've been hurt, protest. If you want to register your objection, protest. But why give it a violent turn? Why resort to acts like arson and vandalism? And that's when it comes in the category of crime, and it should be dealt with an iron fist, just like Dr. Vikram Singh said. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us on the debate. We're wrapping up the debate, but now it's time to reveal the results of the poll. The question that we asked: is opposition milking violence in Nagpur for political mileage? And 70.5% people believe yes, that's exactly what the opposition is doing, while 29.5% people say no, the opposition is not trying to milk the situation. With that, we're slipping into a very short break. Lot more lined up on the other side.